second part of our weekend at Brands Hatch featured the Avon Tyres Image Wheels Intermarque silhouettes. They will be one of the highlights of the brand new Vaux Festival promoted by the Brands Hatch circuit. This event featured several iconic racing cars throughout the years from Vauxhall's past and present, including John Cleland travelling all the way from Scotland to get a number of laps around the Brands Hatch circuit. Qualifying for the silhouette saw the usual three battle for pole position, but this time it will be Daniel Smith emerging at the top of the leaderboard to take another pole position. Steve Burrows will be in second position, followed by Malcolm Blackman in third. Mike Thurley was an impressive fourth place overall, the leading senior runner, followed by Ian Hales, Colin Smith, Danny Smith, Eric Bolton, Paul Knight and Phil Spinks in your top 10. Mark Sear, who's dipped in and out of the championship this year alongside his events at Castle Combe, starts in 11th position, followed by Mick Robertson in 12th. Then it would be Brian Laram, followed by Philip Young, Fursmand in 15th, followed by Scott Abrugliano in 16th, followed by Ruben Taylor, Beardsmore, York, Price and Stewart in 21st place. With a good-sized crowd for the Vaux Festival, we were treated with a superb first lap of the first race of the day. As the field rushed up to Druid's hairpin, Blackman and Burrows went either side of Daniel Smith, making it three abreast early on in the race. Emerging in front would be Blackman, followed by Daniel Smith ahead of Burrows, who would unfortunately slow with a broken stub axle. Initially it was thought to be because of contact, but further inspection showed that it was a failure, and unfortunately Steve would be out of that first race of the day. He would come back in the second race however, which we'll speak about in a little bit. Hales was now in third position, followed by Thurley, whilst Colin and Danny Smith were continuing their family battle for fifth place overall. The lead battle was becoming pretty intense and they were setting some blistering pace. The blue Mercedes closed up to the red Tigra, but it looked like Blackman had this under control. Thurley slowly reeled in Hales, whilst the Smiths soon had Bolton and Knight for company. Danny Smith got past his father Colin on lap number 10 and started to pull away, until lap number 15 a slight mistake saw him drop back behind Colin and then Bolton as well. And on the last lap of the race he dramatically slowed and fell down to 10th position. And up front it was Blackman taking another race win on the Vaux Festival, big for him in his Vauxhall Tigra, just 0.185 of a second ahead of Daniel Smith in second position in his Mercedes. In third position, an impressive drive from Ian Hales, once more in a Vauxhall, so two Vauxhalls in the top three for this first race of the day. Mike Thurley was just behind him, 0.2 of a second, to finish fourth place overall, the leading senior runner. Then it would be Colin Smith, Eric Bolton, a great drive from him to 6th place overall. Paul Knight, Phil Spinks, Mark Sear in the top 10 in 9th, followed by Danny Smith as we mentioned earlier on. Phil Young would be in 11th place in his Mitsubishi Colt, followed by Brian Laram, Ruben Taylor, Abrugliano, Stewart, Beardsmore and Robertson. With three retirements from this race, John Price on lap number 13, Warren Fursmand on lap number 3 and unfortunately Steve Burrows not even completing a lap. Your fastest laps in both the categories were Daniel Smith early on lap number 4 in the main category 49.924, and in the seniors it would be Mike Thurley in his Ginetta with a 50.656. The grid draw, courtesy of commentator Josh Barrett, would see Mark Sear elevated to pole position. The rolling start was a bit strung out as Spinks was missing from the front row. Unfortunately he would have to withdraw because of family issues, which meant he was required home as quickly as possible. The Constantina effect would run all the way up to Druid's hairpin, which saw the sad retirements of both Blackman and Danny Smith, the two main drivers in the battle of the lead in the first race of the day. However, the one beneficiary of this would be Blackman's teammate Steve Burrows, who was charging through the field early on. He started 20th, it would be 8th at the end of lap number 1, and then a safety car would bunch everyone back up once more. Daniel Smith would initially restart his Mercedes and get back going, but it was obvious that something was not well and he would pull off early on, and Blackman's car would be stuck in the gravel, hence the safety car, and the marshals doing a great job to get rid of that car as quickly as possible so we could go racing. So after a few more laps behind the safety car, we'd get racing resumed once more. It would be Sear leading the way and doing a good job, to be fair, to continue putting in consistent lap times as he tried to edge clear of Knight. However, the white number 3 Tigra had a number of cars close behind him, pushing him to go even quicker, and he was staying on the boot lid of the leading car. He was joined by Bolton, Thurley and Burrows, who had done a great job and, thanks to the safety car somewhat, got himself close to the leading pack. This created a high-speed train of cars that were jockeying for position left, right and centre around this very tight and twisty Brands Hatch circuit. Steve Burrows would keep his cool, picking up the cars one by one until eventually a good move on the leader Mark Sear saw him take the lead of the race. This would be approaching Graham Hill Bend on lap number 12, a decisive move. See him go alongside into the corner. They briefly touched on the exit, but a good exit would see him take the lead and start to build his advantage. This would slightly unsettle Sear and he allowed Thurley to nip through in the process. Mike had done a good job to get past Knight along the Brabham Straight in a neat slipstream manoeuvre. So the order was now Burrows leading Thurley, who's also the leading senior runner, followed by Knight, who had also got past the green Ginetta of Sear, Bolton and Hales. Steve's winning margin in the end would be 2.461 second. His best lap would come right near the end on lap number 13 at 50.427. Thurley would be in second position and he would have Paul Knight, the second place senior runner, not far behind him, just over a second and a half. Mark Sear had done a fantastic job with this race. Unfortunately, it was just 2 laps too many for him to take his first win with the series in a while. Eric Bolton would finish in 5th position, another strong result from him. Ian Hales would be 6th, followed by Colin Smith and Danny Smith. Philip Young in 9th position, followed by Brian Laram in 10th. Ruben Taylor would finish in 11th position, followed by Mick Robertson, Abrigliano, Stewart, Price and Beardsmore, your 16 finishers. The 2 DNFs early on were Daniel Smith and Malcolm Blackman, the latter of which unfortunately never completed a single lap. The fastest laps were as followed: Steve Burrows on lap number 13 and Mike Thurley on lap number 13 too in his Ginetta G40.
It went really well, really pleased with the car. I've dropped my lap time. I'm in the 51 seconds now, which has always been out my reach, and yeah, I'm really happy with the way it's going. Race 2 was good as well. There's a bit of a schmozzle in front, but I managed to miss it. But yeah, happy with that. So yeah, happy with really good racing, both races, so really good.
Unique car, especially Cole. How come you went for this sort of style of bodywork instead of...
Well, many years ago, a bloke called Dave Longhurst won the National Hot Rod World Championship in it, and I went everywhere with him as his mechanic, and then when he sold it, I bought it, and I've raced it ever since. I've had it since about 2010, so yeah, I do like my car.
We will ask a forbidden question: why Mr. Cheese?
It's just my nickname. All I can say is that I like cheese sandwiches.
It's more savoury than we thought.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
You qualified well, race 1, happy with that. I finished, where did I finish in race 1? 6th. So good result with that, and obviously the reverse grid thing. Yeah. So it put me, I started second. Got that all wrong. The second one I started 6th, finished second. The first one was, where did I finish? 4th. Yeah, so the first senior, so that was pleasing.
That was the main thing.
Yeah, and the second race was, I started 6th and finished second, so well happy with that, and first senior again.
In race 1 I had a diff breaker, so on the internal, so it was still going. The crown wheel and pinion was okay, but all the internal smashed up on the plates and everything, so I didn't have any limited slip diff.
You still made a few places, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, we made up some places, yeah.
That put you towards the front of the second race as well, kept out of the way of the carnage early on.
Yeah, and there was a non-starter as well, so we was not really hemmed in there, but behind the pole sitter, so yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, so we got away quite well. Then the differential that we picked now is the wrong ratio, so we were struggling a little bit there, but yeah, we did okay. Third place is nice.
We've got a couple of rounds to go. We've got Castlecombe and Brands, I think, again.
Yeah, and I think there's another Brands after that, isn't there?
Looking forward to Brands, or is it Castlecombe to be a new one?
I haven't been to Castlecombe for a long time, so I'm looking forward to going there very much.
It was great to see a strong field of cars for this Vaux festival, and possibly it was poetic that on both occasions it would be a Vauxhall taking the win, with Malcolm Blackman in the first race and Steve Burrows in the second. And out of the 6 possible podium slots, we saw 4 of those filled with Vauxhalls over the 2 races, which was great to see in the Vaux festival. A massive thank you to everyone involved in running the event at Brands Hatch over the weekend. Some good grids from both of the series, and the next event for the Silhouettes will be Castlecombe, actually in Wiltshire, on the 1st of October. Be sure to get down there, especially if you are local. It's an absolutely fantastic track. Having raced there myself over the last couple of years, it's an incredible one to drive but also to spectate at. So some thrilling action for sure with the Intermarque Silhouettes, who never fail to disappoint with their action. So hopefully we'll see you there on the 1st of October. Thanks for tuning in, and goodbye.